Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Just got back from training with Master Steven Siegel. And he wanted me to tell you guys that we need to talk about cheap fragrances that last a long time. Very important to him, very important. All the fragrances I'm gonna talk to you guys about are linked in the description, so feel free to check them out down there. And don't tell Steven Seagal this, but these fragrances are way better than those movies, dude. Oh my God, have you seen those? So bad. Does it wrap back around to being so bad that it's good? That's the question. Let's jump straight into it, guys, with this little rinky-dinky bottle. And this actually serves as a lesson. Couldn't think of that word. It's a hard word, lesson. At the time I bought this fragrance, I was like 99% sure I was buying a 100 ml bottle. And then it came in and it was a 1 ounce 30 ml bottle. I was a complete dunce. I just looked at the price at the time and I was like, oh, that fragrance, that price? Okay, yeah, that's a 100 ml, boom, boom, boom. I think maybe I saw like the 3 and just automatically was like 3.3, ounces, whatever. Now I have this size bottle. It looks so stupid. It is Cool Elixir by Davidoff. That's right, even Davidoff giving in to the rush of elixir fragrances. They had to get one out, they had to do it. They gave in. Who at this point has not given in? That's the real question. Most brands have. There's a couple outliers, but for how long? So yeah, as I said, scooped this up, paid a decent amount for it, and that's because it was kind of new at the time, to be fair. I mean, it still is kind of new. But yeah, I got the little 1 ounce, so just be careful anytime you're buying a fragrance, make sure you're buying the right size, which you would think I would have learned that by now, but clearly I did not. And also with this one, kind of weird that they did not call it Cool Water Elixir. They called it Cool Elixir, which is a choice. Yeah, that's Cool Elixir. It's cool. Fragrance itself, though, I actually really dig. Now, I do want to say younger guys, we're talking teenagers, early 20s, may not like this one as much because it does have, a bit of that like barbershop feel to it. It's kind of in the overarching family of Sauvage Elixir fragrances. Now, it doesn't smell the same as Sauvage Elixir, of course, but you kind of know what I'm talking about at this point. There are a bunch of different scents that have come out that are kind of like riffing off that one a little bit, and this one is also, so kind of like that. Interestingly enough, it does not have a fruit note in the opening, but when you first spray it on, it does have this fruity kind of sweetness when it first hits your nose. Then as it dries down, good amount of lavender in there. Like I said, kind of a barbershop-y, classy feel, a little bit refined. And it lasts, man. This stuff sticks. It lasts for a long time. And for a Davidoff, on the cheap, the quality, actually pretty good. Just be aware if you are a younger dude and you're looking for something that's gonna be, more of a modern vanilla, super sweet fragrance, that type of scent profile, that one's not gonna scratch that itch for you. And it also has a little bit of a floral kind of edge to it as well, but that helps with the classiness. And since we're talking classiness, guys, we gotta do the classiest of them all, the tops, the pimpest of them all. And you'll know why I said the pimpest, because it's Philip Plein. It has been too long since I've featured good old Philip Plein No Limits, where the S is a $, and it's a black credit card with a, $1 trillion limit. I mean, technically that is a limit, it's called No Limits, but to be fair, if you have $1 trillion, then at that point, I think you can do pretty much whatever you want. And I'm gonna point this out again, just in case some of you out there are uninitiated, you haven't seen it, you don't know what I'm talking about, some of you know what I'm getting to. After this video, do yourself a favor, okay? Just go ahead and search up that Philip Plein No Limits commercial. It is a masterpiece. I mean that wholeheartedly, it rules. Philip Plein is like hanging down from a helicopter where the chains are on fire and he's like standing on top of a Lamborghini, just shooting money everywhere, girls in bikinis. This dude who is like a really bad version of Eminem or something is doing a rap about how Philip Plein rules. Yeah, it's great. Like it is legitimately just, it's so good. Back to the fragrance, I legitimately like this one, okay? But it's not gonna work for everybody because it is, again, a strong fragrance. That's why it's in today's list. And it has a pungent leather, like a big punch of it. And along with that leather, it has bourbon vanilla, it has cinnamon, it has dark chocolate, it has cardamom, black pepper, oud, woods. I mean, there's a lot going on here. It has a little similarity to the discontinued Gucci guilty, absolute. But to me, it's even better than that one. Let's go next with a cheap cologne fragrance. About 20 bucks for this. That is about as low as you're gonna find a fragrance, period. At least a fragrance that's worth wearing. It's this one from Fragrance World, Just As Rock. Just as rock, look as ma. That song is like even before my time. So this little dude right here, it smells similar to Invictus Victory Elixir, and it's really, really, really well done when you consider that $20 price point. It's that great blend of fresh and sweet together off the top that people absolutely love. So if you're after compliments, if you're after something that you can wear just about year round, maybe not middle of summer because of that sweetness, this one will do it for you. Now this one has flown under the radar a little bit, and I think part of that is because it comes in this, Assad bottle style, so people see that and they're like, well, why would I get it? I'll just get the Lattafa. But this is doing something different, and it is really well done, especially for $19.99. At least that's what it's going for right this second, which is, technically under $20 by a penny, but still. The next fragrance is one that I talk about often because I think it's just such a good deal that everybody needs to know about. But before you know about that, you need to know about these codes. I don't know. I didn't know what I was going for there. My artistic vision just wasn't there. So here they are across a bunch of different websites. We got codes for Joma Shop. They only work within the Joma Shop app. Then of course codes for a multitude of other stores, including Lucky Scent, Twisted Lily, the Perfume Box, and many more. So use those codes anytime you shop, whether you're looking for designers, niche, clones, whatever. Save yourself some money. So the scent that I talk about with some regularity, this one right here, Nikos Sculpture Parfum. This little beauty right here gets the job done. It lasts, it projects a good amount. The quality is very nice for the price point. And to top it all off, it smells kind of similar to a much more expensive fragrance. Actually, a couple of much more expensive fragrances. It also smells similar, of course, to the original Nikos Sculpture, which is also quite affordable. Actually, at this point, this one is probably a bit cheaper most places, but this one does not project or last quite as long, so do beware of that. But hey, if you really love this one, you could scoop this one as well, little different vibe. So the Parfum right here, this one smells a little similar to a Bond No. 9 and a Xerjoff. The Xerjoff is Uden, it's kind of in that wheelhouse, and then the Bond No. 9, of course, Lafayette Street. Unfortunately, this one is more expensive than it used to be. I've talked about this as well. And when I bought this one, it was like 25 bucks, something like that, 25. And that was from Joma Shop as a tester. That's how I bought mine. So if you buy a tester, at least it will come with the cap, because otherwise how would it stand up, right? But yeah, the price has gone up a little bit, and now it's like, I think hovering around 40 bucks, which at 40 bucks, it's still a really good buy. This stuff smells great. You can use it pretty much year round. The longevity is there. Just sucks the price has gone up. Boom! But don't worry, if you buy from Joma Shop, you will receive your order probably within like 2 or 3 months. I'm just playing, but sometimes it's like, can you? I have gotten orders really quickly from there. I've also gotten them not so quick. Next one is Artisto, Odyssey Artisto, the red edition by Armaf. It's got this kind of like, what is it? Like a red leather kind of vibe going on, which is kind of an interesting idea for the fragrance as far as the presentation is concerned, because, looking at that, you would probably think, what is that? Baccarat Rouge 540 maybe? Or maybe a riff on Nitro Red by Dumont or Cologne from Parfums de Marly, I don't know. No, it is none of those things. In fact, it smells most similar to Le Beau. Yes, well-known red fragrance Le Beau. I mean, you can see the similarities, right? Artisto, Le Beau, they both end in like an O sound. So you're gonna get that same tropical coconut fruity vibe with this one, fresh, a little bit creamy with the sweetness, and then a good amount of vanilla and tonka as it dries down. Super wearable, big compliment puller, very versatile, and affordable when you can find it, because this one is fairly new, and it's one that a lot of people enjoy a whole bunch, which means it is sometimes sold out. So don't overpay for that one. Be aware of that. So I know sometimes people are like really wanting to get the fragrance, and they're like, oh, I'll buy it for 60 or 70 or 80, and then, a month or two later, it's available everywhere for half that. Actually, now that I think about it, with red and everything, this is obvious. I don't know, I forgot it, especially because I had it right here, but you could think this one would maybe have been a clone of this Red Tobacco by Mancera, you know, because they're both red. Now you may be looking at this and think, well, red tobacco's not really cheap though. Like these are cheap, but red tobacco though? And I would say yes, red tobacco is not as cheap as pretty much everything else up here, but as far as niche fragrances go, red tobacco is very cheap. And in terms of what you pay versus what you get, this is still an amazing buy because this will last forever. It gets inside you. It changes. It rewires who you were, who you are. And people love it. The opening is aggressive. Big old blast. You're gonna get hit with a whole bunch of spices. You've got some oud in there. You know, a lot of different things going on. And the opening can turn some people off. So like if you spray this on real heavy especially and you go right after somebody, smell me, which don't do that. But if you do, they may not enjoy it very much for a few different reasons, but the fragrance will be one of them. But just let it dry down, let it settle, and it smells great. It smells really fantastic. It's got this great blend of spices, warmth, and sweetness. It becomes magnetic. So red tobacco, if you are after a fragrance that during the fall and winter, you don't have to worry about it petering out when it gets cold outside, get that one. And now for something completely different. Moschino Toy Boy. This is quite a different fragrance, really stands out against pretty much everything else, designer-wise or even niche-wise, that is made and marketed towards men. In terms of the note breakdown, it has a lot going on. You have rose, even magnolia in here, which is a note that you will very rarely see in men's fragrances. Also pink pepper, pear, bergamot, and vetiver, along with cashmeran as it dries down. It's clean, very floral forward, and sweet. And so a lot of people will smell this and think, oh, it's more unisex than it is an actual masculine fragrance, which I think is true. But at the same time, you could also think of it as a, different take on a masculine fragrance. So it's not gonna be something that is for everybody, but for somebody who's looking for something very different, very unique, that's also affordable and really strong, this ticks all those boxes. Let's go back to the cologne zone with this one right here, Supremacy Collector's Edition by Offnon. This one packs a wallop. It is a release that smells quite similar to Absolute Aventus by Creed. And it is legitimately one of the best inexpensive year-round daytime or evening fragrances that you can buy, period. Whether we're talking niche, designer, cologne, whatever, if you're looking for something that you can wear pretty much whenever you want, that has great quality, very big performance, and a low price, this. In terms of notes, very similar, again, to Absolute Aventus. You're gonna get citrus off the top, a good amount of it. Of course, pineapple, birch as it dries down, some oak moss as well. Just one of those ones that when you smell it, you're like, how is this cheap? When you go and smell the real deal and see how much that goes for, which nowadays, Creed fragrances, especially in retail, they're expensive. We'll say that much. Let's go with Hilfiger up next, Tommy H. And the fragrance is Impact Intense, which I would say for probably the majority of people, this is the impact to get. Like if you were gonna get just one Hilfiger Impact fragrance, probably this one you're gonna hear about more than the others. And this is a scent that when it first came out, a lot of people really enjoyed it and it drove the price up and it was not really easy to find. So basically if you wanted it, you had to buy it at retail for the most part. But nowadays you can find it at discounters for a lower price. So off the top, you're gonna get some red apple in there along with elemi. As it dries down, chestnut, cardamom, amber, and also a bunch of woods. Almost like Hero by Burberry. You know, that one has, 3 different types of cedar? This one does too. Obviously, Hero is the bigger, more successful fragrance, and I'm not saying this smells like Hero, just that it had that idea of like, well, what if we did, a bunch of different types of cedar and kind of focused a lot of the fragrance off that. Kind of interesting to see how that's played out. Now this one does get compared to Parfums de Marly's Leighton, and there are some similarities there. It's not as close to Leighton as something like Lalique White and Black. That one's a little bit closer than this one is because this one has more of that pronounced woodiness. But still, Impact Intense smells great during fall and winter time. The quality is higher than you would expect. And even though it's from a brand everybody knows, Tommy Hilfiger, it's not, setting the world on fire. So a whole bunch of people are not running out there rocking this one. So give you a little bit of a different twist than what other people were wearing. And the last fragrance is one that I absolutely love. It's one that I really, really dig, always have. It is still cheap and it is still a monster. in terms of performance. Uomo Signature by Ferragamo. Stuff is great if you like coffee in your fragrances, because it does have a roast coffee note. There's also tonka, leather, cinnamon, and cardamom as some of the other notes in the fragrance. Like I said, great projection. Has a really nice blend of sweetness, warm spice, that coffee, a little touch of mandarin orange off the top, which just helps kind of lead you into the dry down. And it's just one of the best things Ferragamo has released in years and years. It's crazy to think about this, but this came out in 2018. Yeah, time just like that. So Ferragamo, Uomo Signature, fall and winter time, especially during the evening, stuff rules. And there we go, guys. Some options, some cheap options if you want a fragrance that's gonna last you a very long time. A lot of these a little more of a fall, winter time lean, since, you know, that's kind of the seasonality that we find ourselves in right now in the Northern Hemisphere, but a couple of fresher ones too. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.